Yo, what's up? Here's a full-on review for the first episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, starring Tatiana Maslany as Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, and a few other people that come throughout this episode, but I'm not going to talk about them right now because this episode mostly... Oh, before I get into that, I'm sorry. This is going to have full spoilers for this episode, so if you want to see me talk about the episode in a general sense, you can go to my Instagram or my TikTok channel. They're in the description, and you can see me get a quick review if you want to watch that before you watch the episode. But if you've already watched this episode, this one starts off with basically Jennifer Walters as a lawyer talking about her lawyer stuff. She goes back to the camera and gives a little fourth wall breaking. Then you get to her and Bruce Banner driving in the car. I really enjoyed the kind of camaraderie that they were giving with each other and just going back and forth with each other about different things. Where's Captain America, about his powers and why he's wearing this little thing for him and stuff like that. And they get into a car accident because of some spaceship, some alien looking spaceship that gets them into the car accident. And then it ends up giving Jennifer Walters her powers of She-Hulk. She gets cut. She saves Bruce from the car. He gets cut as well, and blood drops into her, and that's how she transforms into She-Hulk. Oh, the interesting thing about that is I was wondering how they were going to get her transformation to the She-Hulk going. I know that in the comic books and I think in the animated series they do it through a blood transfusion, which is somewhat like this, but it was just like a few drops of blood, maybe like a little bitty spill of blood turns her into She-Hulk. Now, when I first when I first started looking at that part, I was trying to think, well, how is that possible? Like, just that little bit of blood turns her into She-Hulk. But if I remember from the first Incredible Hulk movie, the one with Ed Norton in it, just a few drops of his blood really affects people the wrong way. I remember they had one part where Stan Lee, after a few drops of his blood inside of a little drink, changed Stan Lee into some crazy monster that they didn't even get a chance to see on screen. So I guess it works in the history of the show. So that was pretty interesting. But as far as everything else goes, I thought this show had a lot of fun in it. The jokes were pretty damn good. I thought that for the most part, a lot of the dialogue, the comedy, the story that was getting in the beginning, where it's just, Bruce Banner training She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters to try to control her powers, not to Hulk out at every moment, us finding out that she doesn't have this other personality in her like the Hulk does, and just where they're going with the overall story of this first episode, and just the action and stuff that they gave with us was pretty dope as well. And speaking of that, I thought that all of the CG effects worked pretty damn well. Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner was always good. I think that they have his stuff down packed, and whatever they're doing with him is just really, really well in this show. But Jennifer Walters' character, She-Hulk, when she transforms into She-Hulk, it works. It's actually a lot better than it is in the trailers. So, applaud them for that. They really got that out and really got it looking pretty damn good. There are a few moments here and there where, the camera's a little bit far back and the characters are, walking or jumping around and they're a little bit floaty. They don't have, just enough, stick to the groundness as you want them to, or enough weight as they need. That's something that probably changes as the show goes on, where the animators figure out the characters as it goes on, that, maybe a little bit more weight here and stuff like that. But for the most part, it was pretty good. They actually had some pretty fun action scenes here with these two characters fighting against each other, and even one towards the end that I pretty enjoyed a good amount. What else was there? As far as the CG goes, when we got close up on the characters in certain different lighting, I thought it was actually really, really well done. Like, I'm surprised about how much better the CG. Oh, not really that surprised to say so, because I think we get a little bit too over hyperbolic with trailer stuff when, even as an artist myself, I know that it's not finished by the time the stuff comes out. So yeah, it was pretty good. Another thing that I ended up liking was also the fourth wall breaking that they did in this show. You had it a couple times here, but I thought it was used very well, especially with her coming back to the camera and Bruce not knowing what's going on at one point, or just her taking us back in time to figure things out. The lawyer scenes we didn't get too much of, but I thought she did a pretty good job as well. And just Tatiana Maslany, I thought she was really, really good here. She's charming, she's funny, and she just did a really good job overall. The last thing is the end credit scene, where they've been talking about Captain America this whole time, and question comes up whether or not he's a virgin, and what's his name, Bruce Banner tells her that no, he's not a virgin, and he has sex back in the day. And you get Jennifer Walters, who shouts out Captain America fuck. So I was laughing my ass off at that part. And you even see Chris Evans, who replied to it on Twitter earlier today, which was really funny as well. So yeah, no, I enjoyed this episode a really good amount. Like I said, not everything hit for me. Not everything was as funny as it can be. Not all the jokes hit. Some of the dialogue was a little bit goofy at points and stuff like that. And, you know, it has some of that marvelousness in the dialogue. But for the most part, I enjoyed this episode a good amount. It wasn't great, but I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars, man. This is a pretty good episode, and nice way to kick off this She-Hulk show. I'm very interested to see where they go from here. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5 episodes. 3.5 out of 5 stars. I'm out of here. Peace.